Welcome back to another episode of Talking Tarkov. I'm the EarLegAthlete here with,
Hey Dizzle.
and while I'm still recovering from PAX West, we've got loads of new stuff to go over, so let's go ahead and get right to it. First and foremost, PAX West was awesome. I had a great time with it. Granted, I didn't get to stay the whole time. I missed apparently they did, and if you bought merch on the last day, they were signing it, or at least brought their merch to them. That they were signing it and stuff like that. So that was cool. I didn't get to be part of that. Unfortunately, I had to come home early. I do have kids and other responsibilities here at home, so things happen. People got to check out the 1.0 stuff with Terminal and see some leaks and things there. I was not part of that. That's okay. Maybe next year with whatever's happening then. And then let's see. They had the booth setup was awesome. Kind of out of order here, but that's all right. So this is where they were sending creators in, press, stuff like that. This is like the entryway to go in. You'll notice that it's kind of boxed off. This whole interior is where they had, I guess, around 20 or so PCs set up for the terminal stuff. So yeah, all the behind closed doors stuff was literally behind closed doors. They had a massive booth set up though. It was crazy huge. Here is a look from the inside, or not the inside, the opposite side. So right over there is where it would say Escape from Tarkov and like the welcome out areas there. This is where the public could sit down, and on this side you were able to run like a raid or two of just basic game, Tarkov, and then limited options. I think it was like Ground Zero, Labs, Woods, and Factory, maybe something like that. And then on the other side, you hop in and run arena matches. They did daily giveaways for like mice and mouse pads and headsets and all kinds of cool stuff. So that was pretty cool. And then they had the sign, the big sign that everybody was able to sign. So that was kind of cool as well, just to bring the community kind of together on that end. Here's some of the posters they had. I tried my hardest, and I mean, I tried my hardest to buy these posters. I was like, name your prices. I need these in my IRL fucking hideout. You know what I mean? Like my little basement hideout. I need those. But no, those posters are sick. I hope they come for sale sometime soon. This was, I think day 2 or day 3, right as a giveaway was happening. So people are just like crowded in here like crazy. It was hard to move around. You had like this little area in the middle of the floor where the guy was just pacing in circles talking. I think that's the only reason it's not filled in. But yeah, as you can see, like everybody's doing arena shit. So like we didn't get to check out the 1.0's public or anything. There's just like cool cosplay stuff. But yeah. And then I think we have, don't want to go too far. But yeah, PAX was cool. Lots of cool stuff. I did get to meet like a handful of people on the BSG team, and like I got to meet, a handful of creators. Definitely cool. Definitely a fun time. If you're able to go out there and do it, you should. It's not just on the Tarkov end. The amount of games and indie developers and cool tech, like MSI was out there, Intel, several others that I can't think of at the moment. Secret Lab was out there. Just like a lot of just like tech and gaming stuff. And you just get a good opportunity to check out a lot of really cool and interesting things. Like I learned about that game Mistfall Hunter. I think that Willers and Lupo and a few others had Airwing, maybe not Airwing. Who was it? I don't know. A handful of creators were like invited to come play it and stuff. And I made my way
one
over and
peg,
checked it
one
out.
peg.
One Peg. Yeah, One Peg was the other one. That game actually looks really fun. It looks really cool. We got to check out Borderlands 4. We got to check out Code Vein 2, Pizza Bandit. Check it out. It's on Steam. Wishlist it. Get ready for whatever's available to play. It's like a surprisingly fun arena style shooter. I did not expect to have the amount of fun I had on it. It is genuinely like just a fun, chill game. But yeah, it's on Steam. It's Pizza Bandit. But there's just like a lot of really cool stuff out there. It's definitely worth going out and checking out. I'm gonna try to get the team out next year. See if we can get Middle and Adizzle. Get them out on the road. But yeah, we'll.
It sucks Nikita wasn't there, that would have been cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure he was there, just not public. Not visible. I'm sure he was like in that room doing all that kind of press stuff. But I mean, I could be wrong. I
I
don't
don't
know if
think
he
he
was
was
actually
there.
there or
Yeah, I don't
not.
think he was there. I don't think
I
he
know
traveled
Dimitri
because
was.
he didn't post any pictures of being there, like nothing.
You know what? That's
Absolutely
true.
zero.
Yeah, it might have just been the team.
And he said, "Can't make it to PAX. Sorry, I can't make it to PAX. Too much work to do." He said, "But I will be in Japan
Yeah.
for Gamescom Japan or whatever it is."
And that's another thing. So this kind of leads into the next chunk, I guess. But as they go to all these conventions, up to G Star, I think in South Korea, the one in Busan, they are going to give a little bit more and more of like the teaser terminal stuff. But I don't know what they plan to do once they get to Busan, because during the convention is the 1.0 release. I think the convention in Busan ends the 16th and releases the 15th. So I don't really know there, but I do know that they are going to like release small amounts more and more and more for each of the conventions. So that's pretty cool. If you go to one of the later conventions, you get to see more than we saw here in the US, which if you saw something here in the US, you saw more than I did. But yeah, it seems pretty cool. Before we get into all that though, we'll go over a couple things just real quick. We have a new promo code. It is Nikita on GMN podcast, all caps. It's also right here. I'm sure Metal can expand it and make it larger. You get what? Do you remember what all you get with it?
You get an AK-74, you get an AVS, you get some helmets, you get some meds, you get some BP and BT ammo.
Oh yeah, you get 180 rounds of BP.
Yeah, you get, I think it's like 120 BT and then 60, or 120 BP and then 60 BT or something like that. I think they mixed it up, but
Maybe, yeah.
and then you get some mags and just some stems and
Meds and stims, a couple
decent,
grenades. You get
yeah,
some contact fives.
decent little setup. Yeah, you get a whole setup. You basically get armor,
Everything but
gun,
the backpack, right?
meds, mags. Yeah, yep.
And GMN podcast is Game Maker's Notebook. They've got what was it, like 20K subs on YouTube if you wanted to go check them out, something like that. I don't know if that's the actual name of the channel now that I'm thinking about it.
That wasn't the name of the channel.
Oh, it's right here. The AIAS Game Maker's Notebook podcast, hosted by the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. That is the channel.
That was
Academy
it.
of Interactive
Yeah.
Arts and Sciences. AIAS. Yeah, so go check that channel out. It's pretty cool. It's a fun little interview. There's no like leaks or spoilers for anything Tarkov, but it is a cool little just like get to know Nikita type interview. It was really fun to watch. It
Yeah.
was kind of like, learn some things that you probably didn't know about Nikita, which I'm all for, right? Who isn't?
Yeah, it's a
Um,
backstory kind of on how Nikita got into it more than Tarkov. I mean, it's got a lot to
Tarkov.
do with Tarkov still, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
more, seems like a more personal type of interview.
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So yeah, again, the code is Nikita on GMN podcast. All caps. Get some cool shit out of it. Use it, lose it, have fun. After that, we have tomorrow, September 2nd, potentially today, depending on when this comes out, probably today. September 2nd, 10 a.m. BST, 5 a.m. EDT. We're planning maintenance work on the Escape from Tarkov official website. The maintenance will take approximately 3 hours, but may be extended if required. The website will not be accessible during this period. If you have any purchases you're wanting to make in the next 24 hours, well, just wait. Like us recording this versus when this comes out, me saying it in the next 24
Right.
hours, it'll already be back up and running. So you're good. Not too much to worry about. Most likely what this is has a lot to do with the next topic, which we'll go into right now, which is Nikita posted this old man with an iron. So maybe we're getting like long irons or something. Like the old cowboy actions,
It
like the revolvers,
it
maybe something like
took me a
that.
second. It really took me a second to
No,
understand
yeah, when
that.
I saw it, I was sitting out at PAX. I'm like, what the fuck is this man doing? Like, what's going on? No, it's Steam,
Yep.
Yeah, so yes, the page on Steam will be available soon. All details later. It's coming to Steam, most likely with 1.0. It's probably why they're doing the maintenance on the website is for 1.0/Steam release stuff. They're going to have to link Steam to it and all this and that. You're going to have to link profiles, and it's probably quite a bit of an undertaking just to get the profile or get the website and the launcher to line up properly. I would assume. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about website design, but it seems like it would take a little bit. And not just that,
Well,
but
Steam
being
has
able
their
to like
own.
have everything tied to your account on Steam for like purchases through, the Escape from Tarkov website, stuff like that.
Well, Steam has their own rules. Like to be on Steam, you have to do updates a certain way. Like you have to send it through them. They have to like validate and like it's a big old thing. So
Yeah,
technically, I would imagine only new buyers are going to be able to use Tarkov through Steam. All of us old buyers are probably not even going to get to use it. But
probably.
for new people getting discovered, this is probably, I don't know. I went back and forth on it, thinking everybody already knows Tarkov, but it probably will at least influence a few new buyers, I would imagine. Seeing it on Steam, just the amount of daily people that surf Steam, it's probably going to
Right.
bring a few people in.
Well, and I know a lot of
But
gamers
good move all around.
on PC for whatever reason they don't like downloading off of a launch or off a website for whatever reason. Like I know it's probably a
Yeah,
pretty niche amount of players, but there are people out there who are like, if it's not on Steam, I don't need it. So
yeah.
the Steam diehards, I guess you want to call them, whatever they may be.
Well, this is a prediction, but I have a feeling this is going to still be purchased through Battle State.
Right.
I think this is just going to be you buy it on Steam and then you launch it through the Tarkov launcher still, but you get
Right.
the
I don't see a
Steam
new launcher
perks.
coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I
wonder
might
if
be
they'll do
wrong on that,
Steam
but
cards and shit for Tarkov. If that's the case, I
that's
might
that.
buy an
Yeah,
account just to play it on Steam.
and that's probably another reason why they're doing it. Maybe to add some stuff like that. It's very possible if they're thinking
Yeah.
long haul, then it makes sense.
Which everything they do seems to be long haul oriented.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? They make most of their decisions
Well,
based
they
off long term. So
always said it was coming to Steam. Like it was just, it was going to be at the, end of the development. And here we are. We're getting close to that. So,
we are at the end of development. Crazy to say, but we are at the end of
yeah.
development for Tarkov, which is wild. So I mean, it's only a matter of time. We'll have it on Steam, and then from there, consoles. And
Yep.
sarcastically enough, or seriously enough, not on Game Boy, despite what Nikita said. So I don't know. Maybe we uproar on that one, start a little riot like the Unheard Edition stuff. You know what I mean? I think they're equal. He said Game Boy. We'll get the game on Game Boy before we get it on console. So I'm holding you to that, Nikita. Please don't let me down.
And just real quick, for anyone out there who is excited for the console thing,
Oh my
I don't think
gosh,
it's
yeah,
going to be anytime soon. I think it's,
dude, it's with
if,
Steam. What do you mean?
yeah, that's true. That's true. If
Everybody
it can
knows
be
it.
on Steam, it can be on consoles.
Easy.
But no, honestly, like if it is made for console, it's going to be a big process. That's going to be. They might even have to wait for the next generation of consoles to have enough CPU horsepower to power Tarkov.
Or
So
they have to like
it's
drastically dumb Tarkov down to the point that it's
yeah.
something different from what
That's
it is.
that's the other thing is I don't imagine it's going to be like 1-to-1 where like cross play and all that. I imagine it'd be its own game with its own servers where only console plays against console because
It would
they
be
might have to reduce
entirely
the amount of
unfair.
AI.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Just I
Yeah.
mean, it's a very hard game to process. It's not GPU hungry; it's CPU hungry. And speaking of consoles, it's like they're not the
Those
most
two things
powerful
don't
CPUs.
correlate. Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically just a second gen Ryzen CPU is what they are. So if the new ones come out, I could see that being a lot easier the new consoles. But if they try to put it on this gen, it's going to be tough.
Next gen would make more sense. And that feels more like in line with a
Yeah,
timeline for a
it
game
does.
like Tarkov to come to console, in the next 5 years or plus,
Yeah,
3 to 5
it
years,
does.
I
I could see
guess.
that.
Seven
I could
years.
see it being when he says wanting to put it on console. I would assume they're talking about next gen consoles.
Yeah. I mean, he did say to whatever the comment was that brought up consoles, he did say, yes, we do have a plan for that later. So, like, that later
Yeah,
being, like, the key word there. I think it is, like you said, much later down the road, not something that's coming up
yeah.
anytime near future.
No,
I
it's
wouldn't
not
even
coming
expect
with
it in the next year or
1.0.
two. Like, it's got to be a ways away.
I've seen people say, "Oh, maybe it's coming with 1.0. Maybe it's coming with a Steam
2
release." No,
months.
it
Yeah.
is absolutely not. We would already have seen so many
Major
leaks
leaks and, yeah, all
if it
kinds
was
of
yeah.
shenanigans. Yeah.
Because like I said,
Okay.
it would be a whole different game.
Do you think we'll get the Steam release before 1.0, or do you think they're going to try to do it at the same time? And
I think it'll drop at the same time.
if they are going to do that, do you think it's going to be problematic? Because let's be honest, as much as we love BSG, they struggle with a lot of the like syncing of things, especially with Tarkov. There were issues when they first tried the arena sync,
Well,
right? And then there were issues just now with the arena sync. And
like I said, I
then
don't think there's going to be anything to sync because I think it's all still going to run through the. I think you're just buying it on Steam. You're just going to own it on Steam, so you're going to get the Steam perks, but you're not going to get anything new with BSG. So
You
their
don't think
side
there will
shouldn't
be
have
like some
anything new.
weird loading launcher bug or something that comes up because of it?
Nah. I think you'll buy it on Steam, and when you hit play, it'll launch up the Battle State launcher, and
I'm
you'll fire it just
always
like you do now.
on the BSG side, but I wouldn't be too surprised if some kind of weird bug started popping up because of it. Just because it's like
I mean,
the whole idea of the spaghetti coding for Tarkov, I imagine that starts at the ground level. So it's like any kind of implementation of something new, I feel like it could potentially cause a bug that's unexpected or, whatever maybe. And not saying it'd be
if they
something
try
that's
to
gonna like
do
affect everyone or
well,
anyone major, but I could see like some stuff coming up.
well, it's like I can already do this. I can add Steam or I can add Tarkov to my Steam library right now, and I can launch Tarkov from my Steam library. I think that's all they're doing. Now they might, like I said, on Steam side, give like trading cards and achievements, but that's going to be on Steam side. That's not going to be on BSG side. So anything new on BSG side would just be the purchase of the game, but I feel like nothing's going to change. I feel like purchasing it on Steam is just going to allow you to have access to the game. So same exact uh, direction as it is right now. You buy it, you download the launcher, you update the game, and then you play it. I think it's going to be the same exact thing. So that's the only reason I don't see there being any kind of like new stuff that they should have to do. Now, like I said, there are Steam side things that they have to do before Steam will allow it on their platform. So all that has to be
Which I'm
ironed out before
sure,
Steam will even
yeah,
allow it.
I'd imagine that's
Yeah.
all been taken care of. And I am hopeful because it is a relatively, at least seems like a pretty simple, straightforward task, right? But
Well, games
it
that
could
go on
always
Steam, a lot of
happen.
times they don't use their own launcher. Like they actually are integrated. Steam is the launcher. Like
Right, right,
that's
right.
what most people love Steam for is you don't have to have 50 different launchers. You have all your games right there in one launcher. But I think for Tarkov, where it's already so intertwined with the Battle State launcher, I just don't see them
It wouldn't
separating
make
them.
sense to
I don't.
separate them though, and have a
Yeah,
Steam
it would be
specific
hard.
launcher.
It would be hard.
That would be hard.
It would be
That would
that
without a
would
doubt cause
introduce that
issues.
stuff you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff you're talking about. That it would introduce that. If they try to go that route, then yes, 100%. There's going to be major issues. Um, I just don't see them attempting that because it's
It
such a
doesn't
big
make much sense to
undertaking
go that
for.
route, right? This close to
Yeah,
1.0,
I mean,
especially if they try to do it with the release of 1.0.
yeah, yeah. I
Just
just feel like it's going to be you buy it on Steam. It gives you access to
gives
the
you access
BSG
to the
launcher.
BSG launcher. Yeah.
We'll see though.
Yeah, I mean, we will see. That's the thing. Fingers crossed, though, right? Like, I mean, obviously, I don't see how it
Yeah,
could go wrong, but that question always looms there, right? With anything like, oh, we're updating this, we're changing that, we're fixing this, we're doing this. There's always some weird thing that pops up, like that stupid fucking 228 moving item bug. You know what I mean? That had no
right.
purpose being alive, and then they killed it, and it was still alive, and it's just like things go wrong and sideways all the time without reason. So it's like it's understandable if someone were to think like, "Oh, this is the worst thing they could do. It's going to ruin the launcher. It's going to do this." I mean, I don't think that is the case. You know what I mean? I think, like you said, they'd have to make some pretty extreme changes and like go opposite of what they're currently doing for shit to go like completely sideways. But
Yeah, yeah. It just all depends on how they try to implement it. If they
right,
try to put it on Steam actually with no BSG launcher, then yeah, I could see issues. But
yeah,
if they
definitely.
just make Steam link to the BSG launcher, then there's no issues because there's nothing changing.
I wonder if it will let you have a second account login option, or if I'm just tied to my one. Like, will my Steam account just be linked to Battlestate games, you think? Or do you think it'll be two separate and I'll be able to, like, have the whatever my name, Daisy32 on Steam and then my EarLegAthlete, like Creepy Hand Jesus on BSG side? Or do you think it's all going to be tied to one?
No, it's all. I think it's all gonna be the same game still.
It's
Like I
all
don't think
just,
they're gonna
yeah,
put a
it's
whole
all account
separate
shared.
version of the game. Yeah, but I mean,
So no
well,
free
it's
accounts.
they could surprise us. They could surprise us.
I'm just trying to think of
But I doubt it.
any scenario that could like randomly pop up, or anything that they could do that would be odd or weird. Seem like
Well,
dumb
like I
questions,
said,
and for the most part, they are dumb questions. But it's still.
it just they've been talking about it. It's just like we already have the answer, and that is go to Epic Store and play Arena.
Yeah.
Because Arena's already on the Epic Store, and it does exactly that. It launches
the Epic
you
Store, it launches
into
the BSG launcher.
yeah,
Yeah.
launches you into the BSG launcher, and then you just play it the same way you do then. And
from what I
that's it.
remember, there weren't any issues with that update
No,
at all.
no, because there really can't be, because like I said, all it's doing is you're just getting access to it from a website. Like it's just routing you from one website to their
Right.
launcher. That's all. It's all.
You're essentially just putting a new URL in.
Yeah, that's it. Or it's just like, instead of me firing Tarkov up from my desktop, I'm firing Tarkov up from my Steam launcher. That's it.
Right. It should pose no issues.
Nope.
But yeah, Tarkov on Steam soon, 1.0 most likely, I would imagine. That makes the most sense, hype that shit up. Yeah. We will move on from there. We have this week's Nikileak. You know what's weird, though, is we've been covering these Nikileaks for so long. Do you think after 1.0 we're going to continue to get them? Because I'm kind of on the fence, if I'm being completely honest. I'm kind of like, I understand, like, hype it, build up that 1.0 stuff. And while, sure, there are still planned, expansions, DLC, updates, patches, this, that, and the other, do you think that we're still going to get this continued level of like stuff going on and showing us behind the scenes, or even just like things they're working on? Or do you think it's going to go back to like that trickle effect state that we had previously?
I think it'll definitely slow down, but I imagine we'll keep getting. Nikita loves to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? You can just tell that's just the kind of person he is. He loves showing what they're doing. He loves showing like hints at things. So as long as they're still creating things for Escape from Tarkov, I imagine we'll still get Nikileaks.
Yeah, I agree though. I do think it'll slow down a bit. I think it's it's hard to keep this pace even leading up to 1.0 for as long as they have been, right? It's been pretty consistent compared to, previous years when we would just go the entire year, it felt like, without like major news or anything happening.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
But yeah, it's without a doubt going to slow down. But yeah, I'm hopeful that we continue to get them, because like Nikita said over and over, his plans don't stop at 1.0. They don't even stop after the first expansion. He's got ideas and things he wants to do. And if he can't do those things in Tarkov, potentially making a new game, Russia 2028 or whatever that may be. Yeah, I think we'll always have like little leaks from Nikki. Oh my god, I think we'll always have little Nikki leaks.
Little leaks from Nikki.
God damn it.
That was a good one.
That was a
very
good one. I've mixed up some words, but that was a good mix. Oh god. Yeah, so
we gotta leave that all in. We gotta leave that all in.
Yeah, we got the new little leak from Nikki, and we're gonna watch that now. Audio. Yeah. Okay, that's the AS Val, the Mod 4 AS Val.
Yeah, the Mod 4 AS Val, and we also know there's a Mod 3 AS Val coming too.
Which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
How much of a change it makes to the AS Val, not sure. Does it make it more usable and reliable? Again, not sure. That integrated suppressor is a big part of the issue. So if that's still attached, then it's still a problem probably. If it's not, maybe not. I don't know.
Isn't it not? I think it's not. I thought that was the big thing about it, where you actually have a barrel now and a handguard.
Yeah, you remove
I thought that was the big thing.
Or you remove the suppressor, you actually have like a full-length barrel and a suppressor.
Yeah.
Handguard, all that stuff. You can put all your attachments on it.
Yeah, and it
fixes the
basically
AS Val, more or less.
Fixes the biggest problem with the AS Val, which is overheating.
Yeah, like you think it's bad on Arena. If you run the Val on Arena, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The thing jams constantly. Try running it in Tarkov with 30 round mags.
Yeah.
It is absurd.
Yeah.
It is way worse in base game than Arena.
It's a very, very powerful gun. It's a very high caliber bullet, a very damaging bullet, a very good armor piercing bullet, but all that comes at a price, and that price is overheating, constant jams. Like it's tough to full auto it and keep it in good shape.
You guys can see it now that we're done talking about it. But yeah, this is the AS Val. It sounds awesome too. I don't know.
Yeah, it does.
It still sounds like the AS Val, but I don't know. It sounds punchier, maybe. It could
It
also just be the video recording.
definitely still has a suppressor on it. Has to.
Oh,
Like definitely
1000%.
still
Yeah.
sounds suppressed.
Sounds good, though. It does sound good.
Does sounds
I love
great.
the sound of the AS Val.
Yeah, very
What
good
do you guys
sound.
like better? Do you like the VSS or the AS Val? Granted, they are almost identical in every
Yeah,
way.
pretty much identical.
But
AS
we all
Val is
have
a
a
little
preference when
better
it comes to it.
statistically.
Yeah. I like the VSS, especially with the wood grain stuff. I think it looks cool. But I always go to the AS Val over the VSS. Um, I don't know on this one. Is this like a quest notification thing? Is this like a fucking waypoint? What's over this dude's head? That was my first thoughts, and I was like, well, it's probably just like animation stuff where they, turn head, do this. You can like grab that slider or whatever and probably adjust it in some way, shape, or form. I don't know though. I genuinely don't know shit about animation. Apparently there was like this face wrap deal in a few Nikileaks back that I was like, oh, it's this, it's this. I don't know. Is that the moon? Blah blah blah. And it was just like, no, it's dude's face just like stretched out and laid flat.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but
Um,
like, so I don't know when it comes to animation. I have no idea.
the figure being so early looking, like being so unmodeled, I would say that this could be anything. You know what I mean? Because obviously that character is nowhere near done.
Oh yeah,
Um, so yeah, I would imagine, like you said, it's probably just something extra that is used another tool maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. It could go anywhere. It could just end up being just like a walking animation for the NPCs for the story stuff that we get. I don't know. Maybe we'll see more about it later as time progresses. Maybe it's like a new boss that's slowly being
Yeah,
teased. Who knows?
be a robot boss is coming.
If you guys follow us on Twitter, ELA_Tarkov, you will get new updated photos of the family. This is my wife and child here. We do a lot of vacationing, and I post it on our Twitter regularly. But they gave us a
Yep,
new photo for it. That we get
they did.
more in the images. So we have been using one that was just like cut off at the waist essentially, but this one, we have more coverage of the body, so we can do a little bit more with it. But yeah, so this is for the next little video we're gonna watch, which I think is fairly straightforward or fairly obvious what it is. It's the Tarkov.community leak stuff. F6 to wipe.
That, I guess, is from what I've heard from other people, is part of a just a running joke in the community that Battle State used to just wipe it like whenever they wanted, and all they had to do is hit F6, and it would
Hit
just
F6
cause a
to
wipe.
wipe. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so it
funny
was like
though. That's
they were basically saying that their wipes didn't make sense. So every now and
right.
then, someone just accidentally hit F6 on
Hit
the
F6 to
keyboard.
wipe it. That makes
So
sense. Yeah.
yeah,
My
but
bad. Yeah, that's funny though. That is funny. I didn't
yeah,
know that. That's cool.
I didn't either.
Um,
I didn't either till I read about the other day.
so, gee, that's hilarious. I love that they still include all that kind of stuff too. It's
Yeah,
makes for good content. I was kind of leaning like, oh, this is Jaeger, like leaning up his fucking rifle or something, but I don't know. Do you think it's Jaeger?
I mean, I don't know specifically who it is. I do think it's a trader. I do think it's like you walking into a trader's room, or it could be just storyline. It could be you meeting up with someone that's setting their gun down. Like it could go so
Is
many
it an
different ways.
SKS or a shotgun? It's an SKS. No.
No, that's not an SKS.
Is
That's
that
either
the
a revolver shotgun.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the revolver shotgun here.
Yeah,
And then it kind of looks like a Vepr Hunter at one point. Like right
the stock.
there.
Uh, yeah, this it could be the Vepr Hunter with the modded
BPO.
body on it.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. I think
but
that
yeah,
might be the revolver shotgun.
it might be. Yeah, yeah. Looks very close.
It does. But yeah, so could this be Jaeger? Yes. Obviously, it's not finished in modeling yet, so like it could, drastically change from whatever they need it to be. Does it kind of fit the Jaeger vibe? In my opinion, yes. He always seems to just be like posted up, rifle next to him, dog next to him, just chilling. Um,
Right.
But like you said, it could be just 1.0 story shit.
Yeah, with the storyline, it's like all these kinds of animations could be anything.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell. Exciting nonetheless because we're getting in raid animated NPCs that are like doing stuff.
Yeah,
And that can't be understated how awesome that is because for the longest time we've had AI to fight in PMCs. That's it. That's it. Like nothing. There's been no in raid trading. There's been no any kind of interacting. Oh, I lied actually.
yeah. All the story you've gotten has just been off what you read in your messages. Like
Yeah,
you go into a picture of a trader, they send you a message in your message box.
except for
That's as
car
much as you've
extract.
gotten. Yeah.
Car extract
So
and
it's
the
like now
BTR are like our two interactable things.
this is going to be the first where you actually see a 3D figure giving you
Yeah, you're like
information or giving you
talking
direction.
back and
It's
forth
like,
and yeah, they're giving you
yeah,
tasks and like yeah. I wonder, I
big
I would
change.
imagine that like sure cutscenes are gonna play a huge role in giving us our information and like kind of like telling the story to us. But you know how like when you're doing all your tasking for your traders, they like you said, they give you the text box full of stuff with like the information for your task, but it's also very heavy in lore. Do you think that we're gonna get more interactions with the traders of them like actually speaking out the lore and like telling us these things, or do you think we're still gonna have to deal with like a lot of messages and stuff like that?
I think it's going to be a mix. I think it's going to be a mix of both things. I mean, there's so many quests and such a variety of different texts that we get. I just don't see them putting all that through like
It's a lot of
animation.
voice line work. It's a lot of yeah. It's a lot of
Yeah, it's a
animation
lot of
work.
voice line work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of animation. That's. I mean, maybe, but I feel like
If they've been
they might try
working
to
on
branch
that
it out.
this whole time, I could see it, but I could also see it makes more sense to just have your primary traders that are in raid voice, key moments, voice certain things, or maybe
Yeah,
no voice at
key
all.
moments,
Maybe
and
just like,
I
hey, welcome in,
I would
and
think
then
important like
story progressive
missions.
type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, important missions, important times in the story, important like just important scenes that are going to like tell the story also. Like I could see them doing, going all out on that type of stuff. But for every single mission, for every single tiny little like thing that you have to do, I don't know if they're going to go that far.
Yeah, I mean, just based off of the missions that we have in game currently, it's a huge undertaking. Then you add in all the new
Right.
tasking and everything else. And from what I
Exactly.
hear,
Yeah.
it's a little off topic, but I guess not. From what I hear, the tasks that we know and love and have all been really tired of doing on repeat over and over and over again, that's gonna be such a much smaller part of the game where the tasks that we're working towards now are completely different and, like, oriented in a different way and just, like, send you doing completely different things, like, going after pocket watch and stuff like that are gonna be kinda like a thing of the past while you can still do them for certain rewards or XP or whatever, like, it's not gonna be integral to the story, it's not gonna be certain things are gonna be left out because it just doesn't pertain to the story and like the main focus of the missions that we get and are undertaking to escape Tarkov are going to be story focused. So I think it was Airwing Marine was the one talking about that,
Yeah, I think
saying
so. I think he said something about that.
yeah, he was more or less saying like the repetitive nature of the tasks and everything that we know now is pretty much going to go out the window with the new task line because we're going to have not only new tasks to progress and like escape from Tarkov with, but just less importance on the minute, like kind of tedious tasking and busy work. So that sounds pretty cool. It'll be nice to honestly have a break from the repetition, even if it is still repetitive to the point like every time you reset, you're doing the same tasks. But just having the option also of like, oh, if you don't want to do setup, you don't have to, but here you can do this, essentially daily, this permanent daily if you want to for this bonus XP and this Reap IR or whatever. And that means I
We
wonder, are they going to drastically change how Kappa works?
I'd imagine, yeah. I would imagine Kappa, any kind of thing that you've been able to get, Prestige, Kappa. any of that stuff, I would imagine is going to be completely different in 1.0.
which makes sense. I mean, with
Just
the
because
major
the
task
game
overhaul,
itself, well, the game itself is supposed to be so different that they would have to adjust everything, you know?
it makes sense. So, do you believe the idea that, or not even idea, um, do you think that it was they've had a majority of the 1 point or of the BSG crew working towards 1.0 for the last year and a half or more? Or do you think that when they split the group, to one work on live patch BS or EFT and then just taking a handful to work on 1.0, do you think it's been like all hands on deck, fucking balls to the wall? Do you think that we're in a place where we're ready for 1.0 and like the version of 1.0 is not drastically, but pretty majorly different from what we're playing currently? Like, do you
Yeah, I
think
mean,
it's going to be
Nikita's.
like major surprises and major differences, or do you think it's going to be like subtle changes that do switch up the repetitiveness and do change the gameplay loop?
I think it's going to be pretty major, and Nikita said as much. You know what I mean? Like he has put it out there that that's what it's going to be, and he even said, um, I can't remember uh what wipe it was, but either the from 2 wipes ago or like I don't know, but one of the more recent ones, he said that majority of the dev team has already been switched over to working for 1.0, and they basically have a skeleton crew sitting back updating what we have now and trying to fix the bugs. You know, like
Right.
that's why we're not getting a ton of new stuff, and everything was being all the manpower is being pushed to the 1.0 side, and they just left a small amount of devs to keep the game playable until we got there. Is basically what he said. So that alone tells me that they had a major push to 1.0, which involves a lot of new development. So that kind of signals towards a big change. And he's also
Yeah.
said that, you know, he said already when Tarkov comes out, there's going to be a new thing that basically defined the way extraction shooter was coined by him. There was going to be a new thing that basically he's going to coin, and that was supposedly coming with 1.0. So a new way to play.
That's true. That's
Eh,
something that we haven't heard anything else about.
Yeah, I mean, he's said so many things like that. So it's like I expect I'm holding him to it too. I expect a major change. If it's the same old same with like a storyline blended in, I'm gonna be kind of upset.
Yeah, yeah, understandably so too, especially after, 9 years of waiting when the game's been in a state that it's in. If they don't make major changes to it and it is still just the repetitive Tarkov, like you said, with just the new terminal map and here's a few story missions, which I 1000% do not think is the case, right?
No,
But it would be
well, and
extremely disappointing.
I would mostly be okay with that, but it's what they've said is coming. That you know what I mean. Like that's I'm going off what Nikita said, and that's what's got me so excited. So that's why I would be more disappointed. The
Right,
game
right,
would still
right.
be fine,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
because the game's great right now. Everyone loves the game right now because it's a great game. So if they added story to it and then was just still trying to like tweak it and make it better and better, like if that's what 1.0 was, that's okay. But the fact that they've said it's much more
Yeah,
than
they
that is what
have
I'm
yeah.
banking on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they have hyped us to the point of this is a major change. It is the biggest change that we could expect from Tarkov, and in fact that we won't expect it, and we can't even like get teases and spoilers about it because our brains can't comprehend how different this is and how unique it is. And I think that they probably are right, but yeah, it would be disappointing after all that hype to just have um, you know, patch 16.9.1 essentially, right? Oh, here's a handful of new
Yeah,
guns and a few new story tasks. Here's a boss. Like that would be a major
yeah,
letdown, and understandably so. But I don't think they would go BSG specifically. And there are several other devs out here like this also. They don't strike me as a bunch that like say things without good reason. Have they missaid things in the past? Sure. But I also don't think they're the kind of people that are going to come out and repeatedly like say, "Oh, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge," and then not come through with that. Because I
right.
and especially after watching that new podcast Nikita was in, he even says himself, like, it's all about the excitement. It's all about that finding that joy and just like seeing everybody kind of get this feeling of like, oh shit, like that's what gaming is. That's what he wants Tarkov to feel like. And so like it does, yeah, it would be devastating. It would be like, oh man, that is a major letdown. But
Well,
I don't
I
think
mean,
that's the case anyways. You know what I mean? Like I think that's just a
honest opinion, I think there's a very good chance that a lot of Tarkov that we have right now is still in 1.0.
oh,
There's
absolutely.
still going to be a good bit of repetition. There's still going to be a lot of the stuff that we know now that carries over. I think what's going to be different is what you're playing towards. But I think for mission wise, things like that, I think they're all going to be pretty similar. But I think the way you get them, or the way you complete them, or the way I think that stuff's going to be tweaked a lot. But it's like it's such a good foundation. I don't see them changing it much.
Right.
And it's more or less every time I've heard Nikita talk about it, he's kind of just talked like it's going to be what Tarkov is now, but more of it and kind of better stuff. It's
Yeah.
never been like, oh, I'm changing it completely, or it's
Right.
going to be completely different. It's always been more like it's going to be improved and it's going to be something
Expanded
that you
on.
didn't expect. Yeah.
Right. They're going to
So
take
that's
the roots that
what
are
I'm
already
hoping.
really strong and just
Yeah.
expand on.
Yeah.
And
So
not even like a small expansion, it sounds like. I mean, it seems to me like we're getting, the terminal map, which whatever, it's PvE focused essentially. And then we're getting, a handful of guns, new items, new gear, new this, new that. Like we're, an overhauled Tarkov is what I expect. Some new stuff. We're getting in raid traders, things like that. We're getting like some changes to the way, like you said, we accept and turn in and complete tasks and things like that. But yeah, like I don't think like core gameplay loop or mechanics are going to change in any way. I don't think like,
yeah.
they're going to make changes to recoil or anything like substantial that's going to make you feel like you're playing something different. I think we still have and that's the thing that I noticed in those interviews they conducted with everybody leaving PAX after their 1.0 reveal stuff. Like One Peg and all those Air Wing, Soft Serve, everybody else that was there,
Lupo. Yeah.
Lupo, Willers. Um,
Willers. Yeah.
that's something that they were like kind of driving home with each one of them when they would ask it. They were like, now is this still the same game you were like, is this still Tarkov? Does it feel like it's still Tarkov? And they all said without a doubt yes. Like they were like,
Yeah.
yeah, like it's absolutely still Tarkov. It's just a
Well, the one
more
person's like, yeah,
we,
Tarkov's the only game I played today.
yeah, yeah.
That was funny.
That was a little funny because he was like, is this still Tarkov? Or, essentially something to that degree. Like, is this is
Did you
this
come out
mode
of
that
this
you just
feeling like
played?
Tarkov was,
Yeah. Did
like
it
it was
feel
still
like
Tarkov that
Tarkov?
you was
Yeah.
playing? Like,
And
yeah,
they could
Tarkov was
just
it.
went, yeah, like that's the only game I played. Like, it was just a swing and a whiff, like it was just a missed
Yeah,
opportunity on the question and,
but
or a misunderstanding on the
that,
question.
but
But
yeah,
it was
they all
funny.
kind of
It
said
was
the same
funny.
thing. Like all of them kind of had the same thoughts on it. They all seemed very positive. They all seemed like they were excited. They all seemed surprised, kind of. It seemed like most of them had a surprised look to them, kind of like it wasn't what they expected. I know they couldn't say very much. I know they were limited on what they were allowed to talk about.
Right.
You basically signed an NDA when you went in there about what you could say, from what I heard. Um, but basically, people said what they were shown was like towards the end of the game, so it was all like late game stuff. But they were also saying that it was some of the best content that they had ever played. So it's like, and a lot of those guys I trust enough to where they're not just going to say that stuff
No,
unless they mean it.
no. I mean,
A
look
lot
at
of those
One Peg,
guys have,
right?
yeah, One Peg's been very harsh on Battlestate games and Escape from Tarkov when he's needed to be. Like when they've done things he didn't agree with, he has been very, very harsh. He's went as far as to quit playing Tarkov for months at a time.
Yeah.
And at one time, he probably didn't get along with Nikita and the crew for a little while. So there's definitely been beef. There's been a little bit of a change lately. He came back this wipe and has been playing it. So basically, I trust what he's saying. I know he's not going to sugarcoat it, and
Yeah.
him giving it the praise that he gave it was enough for me to feel like, okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
that's
That's a very good sign.
major insight as to how we should feel towards this. And
Yeah,
they also kept saying, like, if there's more of this throughout the game now, and like there's just more,
yeah,
it's more involved and it's more immersive and it's just more of everything that they packed into this little, preview, then yeah, it's going to be something special. And I think that, like, no matter what, Tarkov 1.0 is a special event. We've dealt with this for 9 years, going through this beta, and we're finally getting to the game. Whether it's like, some crazy drastic major change, just off the wall shit, which again, probably most like almost guaranteed, actually guaranteed not to be the case. That's fine. But the opposite side of that is, we're getting the Tarkov that Nikita's envisioned, and we're getting a story to it. That's the
yeah,
most exciting part for me. I don't honestly couldn't care less if the middle portion of the progression had changed at all. I don't care if I'm doing the same tasks. I don't give a shit. As long as there's some story mixed in and I have, start, middle, end, right? Like I want that beginning where I find out why I'm there, what I'm doing here, what's my, why, what, who, when, where, and how. I want that middle stage of like grinding it out, getting the gear, gearing up, being a badass. And then I want that end point where I'm trying to escape, whether it's survivable or not, or it's, multiple choice and you have different routes you can take, or however they go about it. But just that story being tied to the things that I'm doing and giving the progression meaning adds so much value to the game of Escape from Tarkov. It's unreal.
yeah,
It's just unreal.
yeah,
So like that's enough for me. Like I'm stoked just off that,
yeah, yeah. And if they do it right, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like everybody will be happy. Like,
Yeah, I think
there's a
so.
way to do it. And I think that they're confident that they've got it figured out. So I'm until I see otherwise, I'm trusting what I've heard. I've
Yeah,
heard good
no
things.
reason not to.
Yeah,
Continuing on with the Nikileak. A
damn,
little
because
bit
we
of a
went on a
little bit of
tangent
a
there.
tangent there, but we're back.
Yeah, yeah.
So then we have the Battle Pass Season 2.
Battle Pass. Yep,
Yeah, without a doubt, right? Like I don't think there's
yep.
yeah. Which we called it when we could only see like a bit of the chain and a part of the star or whatever this is behind it. Like we knew what it was up off the rip. It looks good, looks cool. I like the animation to it. It just looks fire. You know what I mean? Shit's
It
fire.
does.
But yeah, this new notebook item thing. So is this the pre 1.0 event leading up to the EMP, leading up to the full release of Tarkov? Are we getting a cultist event?
Yeah, yeah. This has something to do with it.
And
This
is this tied to it? Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
without a doubt,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah,
Also, I already solved the puzzle.
yeah.
I feathered a door and we 69. So,
Yep. That's
hand jobs are cool.
probably it.
But no,
Do you
yeah,
know what I noticed?
what's that?
If you look at the two fingers are shaped like the knife. That's like the cultist knife.
These two fingers?
Yeah.
You're not wrong. It does kind of have that slightly longer, yeah, and then the curve to
And
it.
they're kind of angled in towards each other.
They
I mean, it
are,
might be the
yeah.
page crease in the book, but
It
it
very well could
resembles
be.
the
It
cultist
does kind
knife
of
a
look like a
lot.
cultist knife, yeah. And I
Because
mean,
that's how
they're
they
always
are.
doing some weird symbolistic shit too. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
always, constantly.
It's just weird when you look at those fingers compared to the other fingers. It just
Right.
kind of looks
They
weird.
they do look odd, for sure. And sure, the page crease would cause the middle finger to be that way, but not the ring finger. The ring finger is
Yeah, the ring
purposely
finger
curved.
should not be curved that way. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's odd. It may be nothing, but it could be something. Who knows? It's cultist, so it's always mysterious and, random and doesn't really make sense until it all just kind of clicks together.
It might be confirmation that we're getting finger knives.
Oh, dude, finger knives are sick.
Yeah.
I got 6 of them on my one hand. Yeah, I mean, most likely, I don't see how we don't get the cultist event leading up to 1.0. I feel like that we have like a
to.
pretty major event coming in, and I swear if it's cultists and we don't have the priests, I'm rioting. I need the cultist priests back in the game. They were fun to fight. They were hard to fight. They kicked the shit out of us, dude.
Yeah, they were crazy.
It was so much fun.
Заебись вообще. Вот это молодцы.
More Nikita voice
Победа.
lines. What do you think that was? What do you think that elevator's for? Do you think that's the interchange rework stuff they were talking about, or interchange expansion, or do you think that's something else entirely? Do you think it's like terminal?
I mean, it's so hard to tell.
It is, and it's brick. I'm gonna go reserve.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either, but I'm gonna just stick with reserve. Call it reserve. But this kind of looks like the wall we were seeing on that last Nikileak, where he goes into the room and it ended up being the ship. So I don't know, but this is brick, so I guess that's different. Those could just be lockers or something. Hopefully reserve rework that's coming. Fingers crossed. Lighthouse first though, please. And then we have some more audio mixing stuff. It seems like, and then in-raid trader, right? At the mall.
Possibly.
Maybe on terminal, I guess, but looks like an in-raid trader. Maybe with the interchange expansion, this is something that they're doing differently. You know, they're like adding a whole shop in here that had a bunch of stuff, like an outdoor Kiba or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think in-raid trader.
Maybe.
Because this looks like hats, gear, maybe food and water up here. Those are like rigs and backpacks,
Yeah.
helmets, hats.
Could be Ragman.
Could be rag. Some sort of interview conduction, something. Casting couch is what that was.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll go into the next video and just watch this one because it is a good one. It's the Tarkov community support video shits.
Very well done.
Yeah, dude, those are always so good. I fucking love those. They make me happy on the inside. Like those in the ASMR videos are probably some of my favorite content BSG
Yeah.
puts out.
Yeah, they're both great.
Yeah, it's cool as shit. It's so cool. And then I guess after that, we really just have like screenshots to look at. These are pictures
Very
I took to
important
send to my
screenshots.
doctor. They're my anus. So here we go. No. Yeah, these are very important screenshots. You're absolutely right about that. There's a lot to take in from this, right?
Yeah. Not
First-
only are we getting to see Terminal, we're getting to see a couple new enemies. So new location, new enemies, new gear.
Yeah, all kinds of new all the way around. So Airwing Marine says that this room starts off as a safe place, but it quickly becomes a place you want to get the hell out of.
Yeah.
So I assume, well, we're not going to do spoilers. I do know a couple things, but I'm not going to spoil. So we'll move on. Just know, pretty cool. Oh, I do want to point something out because it's fairly obvious throughout this video, or throughout these screenshots. There are the Black Division guys, or what is it?
There's RUAF and the Black Division.
Yeah. So the Black Division guys, they are like cold-hearted killers. Like they are professionally trained mercenaries. They're merciless mercenaries, right? Like these
Yeah,
guys
they
are
show no mercy.
insane. They are robotic in movement and in tactics, and they use cover, and they, if somebody goes down, they just pull in the next one. It doesn't matter. Fill the slot. It does not matter. Keep it moving. Do the job.
They fight totally different than, I guess, a lot of current enemies fight in Tarkov.
Yeah.
They said basically they will do cover fire and just basically keep you in cover, and while they're doing that, other ones are just flanking you and they're
throwing grenades at
relentless.
you, flanking you. Yeah, it's you and your squad are gonna have to be on point for this, and Adam and I will show you how to 2-man it. But the thing I want to point out about these guys is that they are job specific to their role in the group, right? So this guy here, he may just be the assault CQB guy. He runs, a long-range rifle and an SMG, small backpack, tight rig, you know what I mean? Everything's low profile, made to move quick, not a lot of armor maybe. This guy behind him is potentially like an explosives expert or demo man, or maybe even just the engineer. But like their kits and their backpacks and everything that they rock is specific to like the job or the role that they fill within their squad. So each one that you kill, while the gear may be roughly the same, you're going to get different things from the kits, right? So, if you kill the explosives expert, you're probably going to get a bunch of grenades, maybe tripwires, stuff like that. Killing the CQB guy, you're probably going to get like SMG and, some light armor and like a decent helmet maybe. You kill the big beefy geared up guy that threw his fucking teeth, like you're going to get some good armor and stuff but they do have varying gear based off their job, which is something that Tarkov has never done before, and that is really fucking cool. It's a minute detail, sure, but it's also something like the attention to detail can't go unnoticed, right?
Yeah.
And I know that for a fact. I know for a fact that is how that works. Like they are role specific for their kit. So that's cool. Extremely cool in my opinion. One of the coolest things they've done. Making them so tactical, advanced, professional, that, they're not just willy-nilly thrown together squads that are just running through the area like raiders or rogues or scavs or us. They are here for a purpose, and they are completing that purpose. Like it's badass.
Well, it's kind of like bosses. Like if you run into the boys, like each of them do their own
right.
thing.
Yeah,
they're
that's
all
true.
Going to have different equipment. They're all going to have different guns. But it's like that on a bigger scale, where it's that whole section or however many fighters are there. All of them are going to be like different roles. Like obviously there's going to be similar roles. Like everybody, there's going to be two or three or four of the same. But it just
you'll have a variety.
It's going to be
options. When you start
it's going to be the first
time.
Up. Yeah, the first time where you get a group of enemies that are all assigned specific roles that aren't bosses.
Yeah, and not just like when it comes to looting either, but when you're fighting these guys too. Like they're going to react differently. They're going to take different hits. Like the big armored up dudes might just fucking eat through some shots, while CQB guy. And I don't know to the extent like how these kits are separated. I just know that they are specific to the role.
It'd be like fighting some scavs, and certain scavs are like long range scavs, other scavs are like sniper scavs, which we already do have sniper scavs.
Yeah.
But it'd just be like if scavs were in different
positions,
different
and roles,
capacity,
and, different kits based off what they're doing. Yeah, for sure.
This is a
cool.
very cool picture. Yes.
Yeah. So if you know what's going on, I guess pause the video and go comment right now, because I'd be impressed. No. This guy back here behind this truck, he's beating his meat. So that's pretty fucking cool, guys.
There's two guys back there.
Yep. One's watching. No, this dude right here is fully fucking armored.
Look at that. Look at that arm. Look at that arm. That
both arms. You can see the plate coming off of it right here. You can see it on his legs.
Yep.
It is completely armored. I guess knee to head. So that's pretty sick. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't put like a face mask on him too. But well, he's got the night vision on, so yeah, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, this dude.
They have to have some weak point, you know what I mean? So it's like maybe that's going to be the weak point is the face.
Yeah, that's crazy to think that we might be able to loot that armor, and even if it's just to finish a raid out, like you're still armored knee to head. Like that's crazy. I
Well,
talked
like I
about
said,
that a
like
while
we
back.
talked about it.
Yeah,
Well, I was gonna say we talked about it earlier, and I would imagine if you put this stuff on, it's gonna be a severe hit to your ergo and just your speed and your like. There's gonna be, just like with everything in Tarkov, there's gonna be pros and cons.
for sure.
So something like this that's gonna give you such good coverage, you're gonna pay for it somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, just think like when you put on a heavy armor, not even an armored
Exactly.
rig, just a heavy armor. Like that thing weighs a substantial amount on your kit, and it definitely limits what you can bring in and out of raid already. So scale
Well,
that up
yeah,
times like 2 essentially. You got leg armor, arm armor, hand armor, like all this extra
well,
plating going in. That's
and at the end of a wipe, when you have maximum money and you can do whatever you want, there's a reason you're not putting Thors on
right,
every single raid. Like
right.
it's cool every now and then, but it sucks when you're so slow and it throws your aim off, and
Yeah,
it's not fun.
even with max stats, you're still struggling in the Thor
Yeah,
or
it's still noticeable.
yeah, like any of those heavy armors are just weigh on you, and it's extremely noticeable.
They're fun at certain times, but to be stuck like that, like all the time, it's. I prefer having semi like similar armor and protection, but with a lot more speed and stamina. And
For sure.
I like that
I
picture.
yeah,
I
I
actually
prefer it
love that
too.
picture.
Yeah, this is dope. I'm probably gonna steal this. Yeah, once again, you kind of get a look at the different setups on these Black Division guys. He's got the new
Yeah,
night vision on, which this is. I'm pretty sure this is the operator we saw for the screenshot.
yeah, yeah.
I don't recognize any new parts on the M4, but
No, it looks like a standard M4 with just a few parts added.
this dude's
Um,
got. I don't know if this is like
he
functional.
does have a pouch.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
he
if it's
does have a pouch there on
functional,
his
that's a pretty
leg.
major change. That's like a grenade pocket. You know what I mean? You could store quite a few in there.
What
Um,
I like is the area, the look
oh yeah,
of
terminal looks
the.
insane, right?
Yeah, it does.
Dude, yeah, it's phenomenal how nice it looks. I am genuinely impressed with the amount of effort that's gone into this map. It looks great, and I don't think we really touched on it, or we didn't touch on it at all in the other pictures, but it looks good in those photos too. This one just really lets it shine. Um, I
And all the
lot,
creators that did get to play it, they basically said as much. They said it looked great. They said it was extremely enjoyable. They said it was just one of those things where you're immersed in everything. The atmosphere, the fighting, just everything was top notch. They said the Black Division are scary. They are extremely difficult, and that it's not something that you're gonna be able to just breeze through. Like it's
you're gonna
difficult
sweat.
on a whole nother level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're gonna sweat it out. Here's another look at terminal. Again, these pictures are a little
yeah, it
grainy
looks
too,
awesome.
but they still look great. Just the idea of
Yeah,
how this is gonna look and feel. And with the
yeah,
current night skybox and Tarkov, dude, oh my god, it's gonna be phenomenal. I can't wait. Um, these buildings look awesome. I'm excited to get in here and like start exploring
yeah. The
around. I imagine
ambient
as soon as it's
lighting
gonna
and
be able to get
stuff on
in.
everything looks so good.
And as
Like
long as we've had
it
lighting
does.
issues, they've always done a pretty good job about just like the environmental detail when it comes to lighting. Like even
Yeah,
working through the rough patches, like it still looked good.
yeah.
Here's just another area where scavs are coming in. That is something we can go ahead and spoil. So it's like our UAF is on your side. The Russian armed forces are with you essentially as you're like leaving or attempting to leave. And the Black Division come in with scavs also, and it's like this giant fucking battle that it's not centered around you. You're just part of it. So that's a really cool feel that they've added to it. I won't
And
go
I
in
mean,
past
it's
that, but
technically not a spoiler. You guys can all find this stuff out. It's in the actual
the Raid
uh
series movie.
shit. What's the name of it? Yeah, the raid series. Like
Yeah.
it's all right there. So like it technically is a spoiler because not a lot of people know about it. But it's like if you want to know more, it's out there. Like you can figure it out.
Yeah, and honestly, now that you guys or now that we have all gotten like, a chunk of these like teases, screenshots, maybe some of us have learned some spoilers and things like that from watching other content creators or, like in my scenario, I just kind of heard some stuff. Um, you know, maybe go back and rewatch the Raid series movie because they the idea of the story is the raid movie, and start to finish essentially. And I would imagine, actually, I know for a fact that there are things that are tied to it that didn't really stand out the first few times I've watched. I've watched the movie like 3 or 4 times now. It's a good movie. That now that I know some of the information I know, I can already picture some of the scenes and like how it played out and like the thoughts of how it should play out in game, and like you can start tying stuff together pretty easily once you like it, depending on what you know currently, if you've looked into spoilers or not. So, but
Well,
yeah,
what's cool is when you know certain things and then you see BSG release stuff and it's like you recognize what is actually going on there. You're like, wait a minute,
yeah, it's cool to
I know
connect
what
those
that
dots.
is, or I know what this is leading to, or I know when this happens. You know what I mean? Like it's cool.
It is cool. It's really cool because it's just like we've had all these questions for years and years and years and years. Like even before we started the channel, like we were always asking questions and wondering how this came to be, or like we always had these thoughts or comments or something. So
Right.
getting not only an answer as to why we're here, but an escape route out, like that's crazy. I can't wait. I'm so excited for 1.0. Uh, I know we all are, right? I think everybody
Yeah.
that follows Tarkov, plays Tarkov, like I think everybody's ready for 1.0. Um, Understandably so, dude. It's been 9 years, and like, sure, I've only been around for a chunk of that. That's still a relatively long time to
Yeah.
wait for
Especially in
full
gaming
release.
years.
Yeah, absolutely. When you have things that release every month, every week, every day, every 6 months, a new major title, every 3 months, this, like a game sitting in beta, going through the rough patches that Tarkov's had to go through, just like community wise and stuff like that. For it to withstand the test of time, it's done something right, obviously. And I can't imagine that they would not capitalize on that coming into 1.0.
Right.
Looking forward to it. Definitely excited.
What's funny is in the end, it's all just going to turn out to be basically a game like Mortal Kombat, and all these characters you just choose, and then you just do fights
Yeah.
versus each other,
Yeah.
and they all have like different finishing moves, and that's what 1.0 is going to be.
Well, I told you that in like you weren't supposed to say anything. Like that was
Well, I know,
our
I know. I'm
secret.
just saying. Oh, like
Willer's told me, and I thought I'd tell you, and
cut
now
this.
you're telling them.
We'll cut this part out. We'll cut all this out so
I'm
no
not
one hears it.
allowed anymore. Mom told me I can't cut stuff. She caught me
Okay,
using the
we'll
scissors
just
again.
we'll just we'll just say we're lying, being dumb.
We're lying and being dumb, guys. The game does not turn into
Yeah, of
Mortal
course we are.
Kombat.
No, absolutely not.
These aren't
Finish him.
just these aren't just like maps. These aren't background characters watching you uppercut somebody. For sure, not the case.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there anything else this week? We covered the Nikita or we covered the Nikileak, the Tarkov community. We covered the screenshots from PAX. We covered the code.
Yeah.
We covered
I think that's
terminal.
it.
I think that's it for the week. Which to say
Yeah.
that's it seems
Yeah,
soft because like it's
a lot of stuff.
it's a lot. It's absurd.
Yeah.
And I'm still kind of
And I
like
feel
winding
like
down from
it's
PAX, so like I'm still trying to like frazzle my or figure out my brain because it's all frazzled and like wild.
well, the closer we get to 1.0, the more this is like the more stuff we're going to start getting. I think it's going to ramp up again
Yeah, I think so.
each week. Oh, I will. There is another thing I will throw out there. There is a game getting ready to release that we
Oh yeah,
we did a video on and we played a while back called Active Matter. It
great game.
is up for purchase right now. You can pre-order it. I think it's going to be a decent game. I think it's like $20 for like the regular edition, and it drops in 1 week. I believe it's on the 8th.
Yeah.
On the 8th or the 9th, it drops.
Well,
so
we played in the last beta or playtest, whatever it may have been.
Yeah.
We got to play in that, and I thoroughly and genuinely enjoyed playing that game. Like it was fun.
It's got a crazy atmosphere.
It's
awesome.
like Stalker meets Tarkov, but then it's got this crazy, the world flipping, and you can like run up walls and do all kinds of wacky stuff where the active matter is. And then from what I've
some
seen,
of the new stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. From what I've seen on Twitter, dude, like some of these enemy types and just cool shit they're adding. I think they got something good here. I don't, it's not a Tarkov killer by any means, but welcome to the club.
No. No, but it's a very fun extraction shooter. It's extraction shooter that's doing its own thing.
Yeah, it's very
It's not just
unique for
a
the genre.
copy of
Yeah,
Tarkov.
yeah. It has a really clean feel to it. The gun fights can feel a little clunky, I guess it's maybe the right way to say it.
Yeah, no, they can. They can. Yeah. And I think
But
all
for
that's just beta. Like I think
yeah.
once it's actually released and we're on like real live servers and it's like I hope a lot of that'll change and I have confidence it will.
Yeah, that's honestly, I don't really even use that as like a negative for the game because it was beta, it
No.
was still early, you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
I always feel wrong judging something before they have a chance to like, okay, well, here's the full release. Sure, Tarkov is a different story, but games like Active Matter, where they have a short cycle for the beta window and then a quick release
Well, and
shortly after, like it's hard to be like, oh, well, that was fucked up 4 months ago in the beta. I'm sure they didn't do anything to
well,
it. It's a piece of shit. Like that's not how I like to do things.
to be fair, this even when it releases on the 8th or the 9th, whatever day it is, um, it's still early access. Like this is only for people who pre-order or people who already own it.
True.
The actual release, I think, is in November, and I think it releases on Steam, and that's basically when you can just buy it. This is like all pre-order, and you're just getting like early access. So we're partnered with them, like so we kind of both got in. We're getting like free copies of the game, so we don't have to buy it. But I honestly probably would have if I
I
didn't
think
get
I
it for
would have.
free because I like it that much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those games. It's like, again, it's not the Tarkov killer, but it's the game I would go to and put time in
Yeah,
when
it's a
Tarkov's
game that
down or I'm just burnt
yeah,
out or whatever. But it is
it's
fun.
it's a different experience. It really is. It's different. It's more horror. It's more AI focused. It's
Yeah.
more extreme enemies, like crazy enemies. Like
Yeah.
it's a
It keeps you
it's
on
got a
your
lot
toes.
more.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff that if it gets it right, it could turn out to be a very good game.
Yeah.
And I've liked most of it, so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Um,
Very few
I
complaints
will
about
say
that game.
this: we're very likely to maybe get like some free codes from them and stuff, and we might like give some out, like have some kind of I don't know, some kind of contest or something, and see
Yeah,
because I know that
absolutely.
they've said that some of the creators they were going to give like care packages out and stuff, so we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. If we get codes, I will let everybody know before we do a giveaway. Um, so just keep an eye out, ear out. Join the Discord if you haven't. The links below. Uh,
Keep an ear
Follow us
leg
on
out.
Twitter, ELA_Tarkov. Yeah, I think that's it. We good?
Yep, we're good.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like the video and comment below. And of course, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so it helps us out a lot and it keeps you up to date with all of our content. I'd also like to say thank you to our subscribers and a special thanks to our channel members. If you'd like to help support the channel, consider becoming a member below. We'll catch you next week. See ya.